The doors of the Privy Council meeting closed, and what happened next would send shockwaves through the very foundations of the monarchy. This wasn't just a discussion of state affairs. It became a battlefield where decades of simmering tension finally exploded. We're talking about a direct, unprecedented confrontation between two of the most formidable women in the royal family. Princess and the unyielding stalwart of duty, and Queen Camilla, the powerful consort. And in the center of it all, a silent, pained King Charles who made a decision in that moment that has left royal insiders utterly stunned. If you think you know the players in this royal drama, what we're about to reveal will change everything. Before we dive into the explosive details of this closed-door showdown, if you appreciate our deep dives into the real stories behind the palace walls, do us a huge favor. Subscribe to Royal Report 24/7 and tap that like button right now. Your support allows us to bring you these exclusive reports, and sharing this video helps us grow this community. Now, let's step inside that fateful meeting. The setting was classic royal protocol. The grand room, the weighty agendas, the air of formality. But beneath the surface, sources tell us the atmosphere was electrically charged. The topic on the table was reportedly the future structure of the monarchy, King Charles's vision for a streamlined, modernized institution. But Princess, and known for her no-nonsense approach and fierce protection of royal tradition, saw a different agenda at play. She perceived, according to those with knowledge of the meeting, Queen Camilla's growing influence over these plans as a dangerous overreach. It began with a pointed question from and about a specific patronage, one with historic ties to the military. But it wasn't really about the patronage. It was a challenge, a testing of the boundaries. Camilla, we are told, responded not with deference, but with a firm defense of the new strategy. And that's when the temperature in the room plummeted. Insiders describe Anne's tone shifting from questioning to confrontational. She allegedly challenged the Queen's direct involvement in what and considered matters of state, not the consort's domain. She spoke of tradition, of defined roles, of the danger of blurring the lines that have held the institution together for centuries. Her words, we are told, were not shouted, but delivered with a cold, sharp precision that cut deeper than any outburst ever could. Camilla, facing this direct assault, did not back down. Sources say she held her ground, defending her position as the king's wife and closest confidant. She argued for evolution, for the necessity of change. But this was more than a debate over policy. This was a raw power struggle, playing out in front of a horrified cabinet and a silent king. The two most powerful women in Charles's life were at war, and he was caught directly in the crossfire. And then came the moment that defined the entire crisis. As the argument reached its peak, all eyes turned to the king. The room waited for him to speak, to mediate, to command order. But he did none of those things. King Charles III, the monarch, simply stood up. He gathered his papers, and without a single word to his sister or his wife, he turned and walked silently out of the room. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving a stunned silence in his wake. His exit was not just a retreat, it was a statement. It was an admission that he was powerless to stop the clash he had just witnessed. The meeting, of course, dissolved immediately. But the ramifications are only just beginning. The king's silent departure reveals a devastating truth about his reign. It shows a monarch caught between the unwavering duty embodied by his sister and the transformative influence of his wife. By refusing to choose a side, he effectively chose both, and in doing so, validated the conflict itself. This isn't just a family spat. It's a constitutional crisis in the making, exposing a deep fracture in the leadership of the crown. For Anne, this is a matter of principle. She has spent her entire life as the monarchy's most reliable soldier. To see what she perceives as the core integrity of the institution being reshaped by what she might consider casual influence is, for her, an unforgivable breach. For Camilla, this is about the role she has fought for decades to secure. She is no longer just the companion. She is the queen, and she expects her voice to be heard. And for Charles, He is the man in the middle, the king who walked away, a move that some insiders are calling not weakness, but the only move he had left. To side with his sister would humiliate his wife and undermine his own vision. To side with his wife would alienate his most loyal and respected family member. So he left, a solitary figure, carrying the impossible weight of a crown that cannot seem to hold its pieces together. The palace, as you can imagine, is in lockdown mode, desperately trying to control the narrative. But you cannot unring a bell. The sound of that confrontation is echoing through the corridors of power. The question now is what happens next? How does the royal family move forward from this? The king's silence was deafening, but the fallout will be anything but quiet. This is Royal Report 24/7, bringing you the stories from inside the palace walls. If you want to continue following this unfolding drama with us, make sure you are part of our community. Subscribe for more exclusive reports. Like this video if you're captivated by this royal revelation, and share it with anyone who understands that the real drama is often found in what's left unsaid. The story is far from over, and we'll be here to report every development.